Hello, Anashir. How are you today? Well, I have to show you a witchy haul I did. It's a mixed bag of a witchy haul. Some of it from the internet, some of it I went to the Akko yesterday, and some of it I got on Stone Age, a store, a big crystal store, one would say one of the biggest in Israel. And let me show you what I got. I got a lot of ingredients that I'm using, and I'm gonna tell you what I'm using them for. Now, the foremost and most important is, can you read this? Can you read Hebrew? This is rose oil. This is rose essential oil. I know it's not really 100% pure. It's probably cut with things, and it's handmade by some of the Arab perfume makers. It's very strongly scented, almost powdery and lemony, and of course rosy. And I had a crisis because I use a lot of rose oil in my love and beauty spells, and I started to run out, and I tried to get some in Jerusalem, but the problem is that when I got there, Jerusalem was all closed up because Trump announced that Jerusalem is the capital of Israel. And when he announced that, many people got upset and closed their business, and I couldn't get any of the rose oil. So, I had to go to Akko, to the Akko shuk, which is an old Ottomanian shuk, to get my oil. And I got it for a very good price. I haggled and I got it for a very good price. So anyway, in that shuk I also got this giant chunk of, see this? This big amber thing. Can you guess what it is? This is pine resin. It smells lovely. It smells so good. Well, this is pine resin that you break and use for incense, and also you can use this to make some ink. It's also an ink fixer. So that's a bunch that I'm gonna use for incense. Yuletide is coming, and I'm going through to an Asatro, a sort of a holiday. And in that Asatro holiday, I'm gonna make the incense. I'm gonna make the Yule incense for them, and enjoy and eat roast pork and all the fun things in life. I also bought this giant incense. I haven't tried it yet. I can tell you what I think about it, but it's not branded. It's amber scented incense. I do miss a little bit of amber incense. So I'm gonna use it. I'm gonna tell you maybe how it's like if you're interested. I haven't opened it up. Also, I got some Egyptian glass blown bottles. And I don't know if you can see it, the glass is cut. You can actually see a little bit of foliage, and the paint is actually real gold. And those, they are not very reasonable bottles. You can't carry them around, they're very thin, they break easily. But it's like for ritual potions and ritual potions and oils and anointing oils. You can get one, you can smear it on yourself. It's like it makes you feel like fancy and rich and queen-like. Another one of those bottles. By the way, if you are interested, those cost like $7-8 each because they're handmade. Got another one from this brand. One that is like more red. And I have a collection of these. I'm collecting those since my youth, actually. But they're so fragile. Even like if you move them around and they fall on the table, they break. So it's like, I think that I have now like the third generation of these. But if you're making your own scents, or you have like different scents and you don't want people to know what they are, you can have this on your vanity. Nobody will know. More bottles that I got, and those were much cheaper. It was like $1.50 each. These are blue glass bottles, and the glass is not really blue. They used glass paint, which is chipping off, so it looks like very vintage. Like the cork is plastic, and I'm thinking I'm gonna use these for healing oil, like for anointing of healing oil, which I'm going to consecrate. There is a Maya Ebo coming soon in the last day of the year, just before the Yule, and I want to make some Yamaya oil, so some Yamaya healing oil, you know, for our needs. So I got a couple of these. These were really cheap. The last thing I got in the shuk was this. I got an oil lamp, a small oil lamp. And I really want to go into, and as you see, this one is also transparent and painted, and it's chipping off. It has this nice patina. And I think, you know, and I took the red one because the red one is very, it's very Eshu, you know, it's one of the colors of Eshu. And I want to start getting into all those spells that require oil lamps, like those hoodoo spells that require oil lamp. So this is what I got in the Akko market. It wasn't very expensive. Actually, it's like, you would never imagine how much I paid for this, because this is mostly rose oil if it's not like cut, and this cost me something like $70. Didn't cost much at all. And this amount, this giant amount, that it will take me years to finish. Okay, so one of the things that I got over the internet is this. Can you tell me what it is? Can you read this? This is not Hebrew. This is actually Japanese. And this says right here, Byakudan, sandalwood, Jinko. Jinko is agarwood, and Kiara, highest grade of agarwood. I got this, I did an experiment. I bought from this website that has a chain of incense stores in Japan, and this is very high grade incense, which I'm using for my observance and spells. Let me show you how it is. Now I already opened it and used it, and it smells wonderful. This is the Kiara. You basically get this tiny, I think it's like 2.5 inches thing. The stick is small, it burns for 15 minutes, but it's like very fragrant. It's fragrant full and it's like filling the room. This is Kiara. You get 15 sticks of each. This is the white sandalwood. White sandalwood here, you can see the sticks here quite clearly. They're like wrapped around this carton with a little bit of silk paper. And this is the agarwood, the normal agarwood. So you get like 3 in 1. Get 3 in 1. If you don't know how to read Japanese, it's going to be a surprise for you which one you are using each and every time. But the traditional Japanese incense is basically based on woods, and it has this fragrant woody scent that my mother is apparently bored of. And they do smell great. They do smell great. And it's like, really, if you want to try high grade incense, this is the Minorian. You know what, I can leave you a link in the bottom. It's not cheap, but it's worth it like once in a lifetime to get like the best. So this is the incense that I got, that I'm giving as a special observances to my deities. Okay, now, the last haul that I did, I went to a crystal shop, and I got like quite a few. I didn't get a lot of crystals, but you know, I did found some spectacular specimens, as they say, so I had to add them to my collection, which I'm using. So the first spectacular specimen is this. This is an Iceland spar, an optical calcite. And I love the fact that it has this golden residue in it, but it's like almost, besides that, it's like almost crystal clear. And it's quite big, as you can see. An Icelandic spar is a problem. So first of all, clear calcite in any form and shape, it's a mega healing stone. It's like a master healing stone, and this one can be also used as a healing wand. You know, bring the body back to its perfect square shape. But also, this Icelandic spar allows you to look at the problem and see different angles of it. So it's like when one is sick in solution, this is a good stone to meditate with. So I got this and I was like, I have to have this. I also got this lovely agate, orange agate slice. And I don't know if you can see the maze. When the light passes through it, the maze is quite spectacular, I can assure you. And agate slices, especially when they're like carnelian agate, like this one, once you inscribe a spell on these, that's it. The spell is there forever until that thing breaks. And carnelians, they are constantly empowered from within. So it's like more people should get the skill of using a Dremel and write on stone. Write the spell, consecrate it, give it like its first boost, and it will last forever. So if you're doing it on a protection spell and you manage to, like, you know, when you're building your house and you can like safely put it in the foundations with offerings just to get that thing started, you will have a protection on that house forever. And this slice is quite spectacular, and those slices are rather cheap, and I'm really surprised that not many witches are using now those days. Also got this beautiful amethyst, which is again very large. I started like having an affinity to this, not to the African kind so much, but to the Siberian and the Brazilian amethyst. And like I held it, it felt nice in my hand, took away my headache. I'm using it quite a lot. And I got this mica. You see, this is like pure mica. It's not mica lepidolite even. It's not the purple variety. It's like white mica, which is a powerful dreamstone, helps with astral projection. Not that I need much help with astral projection, but it's like I can charge it to have no dreams. I really hate dreaming. I like to sleep and have absolutely no dreams unless it's absolutely necessary that the spirits will contact me. Okay. So the rest of the stones, I got this beautiful sandstone, and this one, if you look at it in the right angles, it does have this opaline sort of shimmer to it. You can't see it with this shitty camera, but there is a shimmer, and it makes you happy and gives your body energy. And sometimes I need like that extra boost of energy to get myself going, get out of bed, do something with myself. So I need that extra boost of energy, and I got the moonstone, which is a very psychic stone, and this is a rainbow moonstone. Again, not the highest quality, but just enough to give me, you know, to put with tarot decks, or like, you know, get like, you know, use for divination tools. I got this bone agate, which I think has a, this is like one of those things that are so fucking primordial that it has like a dinosaur bone encased in it. I already showed you my necklace with the dinosaur bone. I got 2 hematites for protection and grounding. I'm using this quite a lot, but those are also good for the disease of the blood. And I got, this is called a dragon stone, but this is a kind of jasper. And again, one of those things that is, I think it's like a variety of bloodstone, actually. You just need to rebrand it, but it's such a beautiful bloodstone. Again, very good for increasing magical power and healing and things like that. I also got copper. You know, some stuff sometimes through a few items, you know, they are difficult to charge, or you have difficulty to charge or connect to them, but you need that particular item or that particular ingredient for a spell. So sometimes adding the copper would allow this full encapsulation of the energy in the spell. And last but not least, I have a new friend. This is a sandstone wand. It's made with nickeled silver, probably Tibetan silver, has a crystal ball and it has a quartz in the end, and it's very well shaped. Very well shaped. And you know, I didn't feel this connection to a wand since, and I told this story on this channel already, ever since I got back from, you know, ever since I was in the army and I had that crystal wand, that amethyst pencil that I used for everything, ever since then I didn't feel connected to a wand such as this. So I'm like holding it, feeling it, loving it, and I'm gonna do wonderful things with it. So that's it. So, and also I got like 3 books on the post, you know, in the mail that are interesting. got this. The Enchanted Formulary, Blending Magical Oils for Love, Prosperity and Healing by Lady Ria and Yves Lefay. And people complained about this book. This book really got some negative reviews, so I didn't get it at the time, so I had to get it used and like expensive. But you know, now that I'm getting it, I'm gonna go through it and I'm gonna see if it has any new recipes that hasn't been printed before. Which is quite rare nowadays, actually, finding people making their own mixes and not stealing from Scott Cunningham or like the Herman Slater book. I also got this one that I bet you didn't hear about. Positive Magic, Occult Self-Hate by Marian Weinstein. Have you seen this one? Have you heard about that? If you did, if you read it, tell me in the comments below. I would really like to know what you thought about this. But what I did like it when I opened it up, because again, when you go and buy stuff in thrift stores, like for second hand, you never see what it is. She cast a spell on the her book. And I love it. I love it when people publish books that they cast spells, that their books will not be used or will be used in some kind. I saw this manual for self-protection that one had to put a bloody fingerprint on it so they wouldn't like lend it to other people. And it says, this book helps all. This book harms none. For the good of all, according to free will, perfect expressions of the power incarnate as well as the invisible world. The one power God is God, and so mote it be. This book deviantly protected, and all who touch it. It's like she actually gives blessings to the people holding and keeping this book. And I think this trend should come back. Even though if I don't agree with her morality, I do agree that, you know, this is something that one should do. And actually it has a very, you know, I'm gonna read through it. It's like a very basic beginner's occult manual. And the third one that I've received was Irish Druids and Old Irish Religion by James Bodwick. This one. Which again, I really want to know if it has any new answers to those old questions. That's my haul. What did you think? Did I make a good selection? Did you like any of the stuff that I received? If you do, please comment and like, and please consider subscribing to my channel. Goodbye and have a lovely day.